So when you guys are confused with words, use Google, type it into Google and ask Google AI to explain it to you. Google AI is my friend. Like, go in there, put a whole um, paragraph of what you don't understand and go and do research. If you don't understand a certain word, look it up. All right, Haley, we're just doing some feedback with regards to the video of the energy systems that we've done. So do you have any feedback with regards to that video?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just testing every time after last time. So for me, this work is particularly very tricky because I'm a very straightforward person. So this is going very much in depth of background and how everything works. So I must say I am struggling a little bit to grasp it, but very interesting stuff.
Right. But how did you specifically find the energy systems? Do you understand them, or is it still not something that you have completely grasped?
I do understand them. I do just need to do a little bit more reading on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's important. Milani, what's your feedback?
Morning, everyone. My feedback from my side, there's, like a coach as well. So it managed to clear up, you do session with the high intensity. And then where do we need like with the lower intensity also? So it managed to clear me up, like there's a certain drills that you must do with high intensity, and then there's a certain drills that you must do with a lower intensity as well. So it managed to clear up on that side of mine.
All right, thank you, Milani. It looks like you guys, I think you can put off your, thank you so much, Milani. All right, it looks like you guys are ready for your presentations. We are going to start. Haley specifically asked to go first. Um, so I'm going to quickly put on her presentation and then we will start. All right, Haley, I'm sharing yours.
Awesome. All right. So I will be talking about the glycolytic system. You can go on to the next slide. Okay, what is the glycolytic system? Let's break it down. It produces ATP energy by breaking down glucose or glycogen. It does not require oxygen, therefore it is anaerobic. And the main energy system for exercise lasting 10 seconds to 2 minutes, for example, the 400-meter sprint. What happens during this process? Glycogen gets broken down into glucose. Glycogen is often obtained from muscle and liver stores, and glucose is then broken down, donating phosphate ions to ADP to form ATP. Two ADPs can be phosphorylated
Yes,
to
there we
three
go.
ADPs. It is a product of reaction, so therefore that then leads to pyruvate and hydrogen ions to be formed, and then due to the absence of oxygen, lactate forms. You can go on to the next slide. What is lactate? Lactate is the byproduct of anaerobic glycolysis. It helps glycolysis. It helps temporarily store excess hydrogen ions from ATP breakdown. It prevents the muscle from becoming too acidic too quickly. And why do the muscles burn? It's not lactate, it's lactate itself that causes fatigue. The accumulation of hydrogen ion lowers the muscle pH, and that causes the burning sensation. Lactate is actually recycled later as fuel when oxygen becomes available. You can go on to the next slide. So the key points, it is a fast energy system useful for high intensity exercise, limited ATP yield compared to aerobic system. Lactate is not waste, it can be reused as energy, and it plays a key role in bridging anaerobic and aerobic metabolism.
You finished. And let me put my...
So that you don't have to put yours in. You can you hear you?
Yes.
I'm not gonna put. Now I'm just talking to Alani here because sorry. Heidi, that was excellent. All right, really. Like you say that you don't understand, but I'm like, you do. You I think you have a high standard for yourself. But this is like you're understanding your work. It's perfect. All right. You said what you needed to say. The only thing that I saw was your pronunciation of glycolytic system. You say glycolytic system, but there's no rules, you know. But yeah, for me, everything was perfect. When you look at glycogen, I want to ask you a question. Hayley, what is the difference between glycogen and glucose?
So I really hope that I'm not going to be wrong here. Can you hear me?
But if you are, it's fine because we're learning.
So my understanding is glucose is what you are taking into your system, and then through the process, glycogen is formed.
Okay, so not completely, and I want you guys to understand this. If you eat a piece of donut, all right, that is glucose molecules linked together in a chain, all right. Now, if that big complex structure of glucose gets broken down into less complicated structures, it is called glycogen, which is glucose, maybe 3 to 4 glucose molecules on together, all right, linked with chains together. But now if you break that glycogen even more down, you have your simpler form, the simplest form of sugar or carbohydrates, which is glucose. It is your building block. It is the most basic, smallest building block of carbohydrates. Do you understand? So a donut is a big carbohydrate. It is a complex molecule that has glucose linked together. Then it breaks down into glycogen, which is a smaller, still glucose molecules linked together, but it's only 3 or 4 or 5. And then breaking that down even more, you have your simplest form, which is glucose. Does that make sense to you guys? All right, and the rest of you guys, is there questions regarding this? Candace, this is a perfect time for you to ask. Yeah?
So glucose is basically sugar, and then glycogen is like sugar and carbohydrates. Is that what you're saying?
Glucose is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is a piece of bread. It's a donut. It is a form of food that you eat that is carbohydrates. It's like rice. It's pasta. Now your body has enzymes that breaks that carbohydrate, that rice, breaks it down into a simpler form, which is glycogen. Glycogen is stored in your muscles and in your liver. And basically, it is 3 to 4 to 5 glucose molecules chained together in a chain. And from there, it is broken down even further. Now it's being used as energy. So it's broken down even further into glucose, the smallest little molecule of carbohydrates. And it's now used to produce ATP. Does that make sense to you guys or not? Please tell me if you're not
Yes, yeah.
understanding.
So, okay. So glucose is like rice and bread, like you said, carbohydrates. And then the glycogen is the simpler form of what we just said to be
But
used
it
for
is
energy.
stored in your livers and in your
Stored in
muscle
your liver.
stores. So it is stored like that in your muscles and in your liver. And when it is used, when it is needed, the body takes it out of your liver and your muscles, breaks it down into even more simpler, smaller molecules, which is glucose. Glucose is the smallest little molecule, and then it is used during ATP production.
Okay.
Okay, is there any questions with regards to that? Because it's important that you guys understand that.
Yeah.
All right. And the same, your body works the same. Remember, you have your 3 macronutrients that you eat in your food: carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Now, protein can also be broken down into simpler structures. I don't want to go into it too much, but it's like when you eat a piece of steak, which is a protein, your body takes it in, breaks it down into smaller, usable molecules, and then it is used for energy production and fats as well. But I'm not going to go into it too much. I just need you to understand what's the difference between glycogen and glucose. Please ask any questions if you guys have. All right, our next person who's going to present is going to be Joshua.
All right, so yeah, good morning, guys. So I'll be talking about the oxidative system. You can go to the next one. So what is the oxidative system? It's also called the aerobic system. It produces ATP, so energy, through the breakdown of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins in the presence of oxygen. It's slow compared to anaerobic systems, but it can go on for hours. You can go to the next one. I don't know why it's like that, but your energy pathways in the oxidative system. So step 1 would be your glucose, with glucose, which is sugar, which is broken down. This makes a smaller substance called pyruvate, sorry, which enters the mitochondria. Sorry. Then step 2, which is the Krebs cycle. Pyruvate is turned into energy carriers. Carbon dioxide, CO2, which is released as waste, which is what we breathe. And then step 3, which is transport gain, so ETC. The energy carriers delivers energies to the ETC. Oxygen is then needed. This step then makes the most ATP, so energy for your muscles. You can go to the next one. So just some fuel sources for us, so carbohydrates. So your main source during moderate to high intensity. Your fats, main source during the long, low intensity workouts. So that's where you get your big energy reserve. And then your proteins, so only about 5 to 10% contribution, used mainly in extreme situations. So like when you do ultra endurances. You can go to the next one. So just examples in sports or your daily life. So sports would be marathon, triathlon, long distance swimming, rowing, cycling. So things that are over a long period of time. Just in daily life would be walking, hiking, climbing stairs, housework and physical labor or jobs. And then just a comparison. So sprinting is your anaerobic, and then marathon is oxidative. So sprinting short, marathon long. You can go to the next one. And then just some advantages and disadvantages. So advantages, it produces the most ATP of all the systems. Can use carbs and fats, so flexible fueling options. Energy supply can last for hours. Byproducts, so CO2 and H2O are not harmful. And then some disadvantages, so slow ATP production, not suitable for sprints, so short distances. Requires a constant oxygen supply, and then transition from anaerobic to aerobic can cause fatigue. And the last one, so just a little bit of a summary. So the oxidative system is the body's aerobic energy pathway. It uses oxygen and carbs or fats to produce ATP. And then, yeah, like I said, dominates during long distances or low to moderate intensity activities. And then efficient but slow, but it's perfect for endurance and not explosive movements.
All right, Joshua, that was also good. All right, you said all the important things that needed to be said. There's one thing that I want everyone to take note of. All right, you need to exactly say how much ATP molecules does this system release, not release, but create. All right, can you guys see? So that is important, okay, because you will see it says it almost starts the same as glycolysis, but because there's oxygen, this pyruvate and hydrogen now enters the Krebs cycle because of oxygen, and now it goes into the Krebs cycle, and then the hydrogen that's released goes into the electron transport chain, and there ATP is being produced, which is like, if you look at the glycolysis releases 2 ATP molecules, but this one releases 32 to 34 ATP molecules. So it is the the ATP number is so much higher, but you need to tell me exactly how much. All right?
All right.
So that's important to make a note of. And then also what I also saw, everything was good. You understand that? Yeah, that was very important for me that you get that. And this was also very important information that you gave. So well done with that.
Thank you.
All right. Shows that you're understanding your work. Is there any questions with regards to this?
Yes, please.
Is there? Sorry, Candice, before you go, can I just say something? Joshua, can you please explain to me what is lipolysis?
Sorry?
Lipolysis.
Lipolysis.
Yeah, I'm quickly gonna write it in the chat. That is the name. Lipolysis. You can also say lipolysis.
Sorry, just hang on.
Okay, I want you guys to all look in the chat for me quickly. All right. Lipolysis is, firstly, what is glycolysis? Joshua?
It's the process where fat is broken down.
No, yes, my darling. That's it. All right. What is glycolysis? Glyco means glucose, né? And lysis means the breakdown. Can you remember in the video? Okay? So if you look at glycolysis, the first glyco means glucose, and lysis means breakdown or disintegration. Disintegration means breaking glucose down for ATP. Okay? Now lipolysis, lipo means fat. Okay? And lysis is the same, breakdown. So it's breakdown of fats for ATP. All right. So when you see this lipolysis in your exam, because I do ask a question about this, you need to know lipo refers to fats. Okay. And lysis refers to the breakdown of fats. So in what system that is fats predominantly used? There's only one system. You spoke about it, the oxidative system. So when it says aerobic lipolysis, it just means it's your oxidative system that you just mentioned, but fats is predominantly used. Glucose and proteins can also be used in the oxidative system, but when it says lipolysis, it means fats are now used because it's lipo, which refers to fats. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
All right. Candice, do you want to ask a question?
I can't remember my question. Oh yes, my
I'm
question.
sorry.
My question was, in Joshua's picture there, it said 32 to 34 ATP molecules, but in my notes I wrote 36 to 38. So what
Yes,
is the
that's
correct amount? What
The
is-
reason why they didn't take that, if you go back to his one, this picture is not a picture that is in your ETA notes, all right? But you will see the reason why I put that picture in there because it gives you a really cool picture of what is happening. They only showed you what comes out of the electron transport chain. They didn't count this 2 ATP molecules in there. So it is 36 to 38. Please take note of this. Candice is asking very good questions. I cannot stress enough the questions that Candice is currently asking, how important that is for your exams. You need to take a pencil and make a note of that. So that picture is only showing, I'm going to say this again, that picture is only showing how much ATP is coming out of the electron transport chain. It's not taking into account this ATP that's formed there. So that is the total, 36 to 38 ATP molecules. Melanie missed a very important exam question. Where did you go now? Very, very valuable bathroom break you just took. Candice, is there any other questions that you want to ask?
No, not at this moment, but I am going to have to go over Haley's and Joshua's work. Okay.
Does that make sense to you, Candice? What I've just told you?
No, it does. It really does.
No, I'm just
Thanks.
asking so that because I need you to understand.
Yeah, I
All
just want to
right,
go
so
into depth with the glycolytic system. Like I need to really go into that one again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I explained about lipolysis?
To be honest, yes, but like I want to understand it a bit more. It's just like, yeah.
I'm quickly going to show you guys something. All right, this is what I spoke about with Joshua. All right, look here, glycolytic system. It's in the name. All right, glyco refers to glucose. All right, lytic refers to breakdown. All right, so this system, glycolytic system, is the breakdown. In the name, it says exactly what it's doing. It's the breakdown of glucose to produce ATP. All right. Now, if you look at this one, when you look at this name here, lipolysis, all right, lipo refers to fats, and lysis refers to breakdown or disintegration. So remember, fats and proteins in this oxidative system, it says here, the only difference is that during the oxidative system, the product that the process starts with doesn't have to be glycogen or carbohydrates, but it is also fats, which is called lipids. The professional name of fats is lipids, or protein. So this system is the only system that uses fats and protein as a product as well. And that's why when you start using fats in this oxidative system, it will be called lipolysis. All right? So it's the breakdown of fats for energy. All right, our next participant is going to be Cash. Cash. All right, Cash. I'm quickly going to get your presentation. Okay, Cash, when you see yourself, your PowerPoint, you can start.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay. The ATP PC system is your body's fastest source of energy. Think of it as your body's turbo boost. It gives you energy for a short, powerful movement. This system relies on three key parts: ATP, the body's immediate source of energy; photocreatine, which is phosphocreatine. I went over them a bunch and I keep forgetting. Which is stored in muscles and used rapidly, creates more ATP quickly. Creatine kinases, is that how I said? Creatine kinases? The enzyme that breaks down PC to release energy and recharge ATP. Think of it's like this. ATP equals cash you spend for energy. PC, your quick savings account. Yeah, you can keep going.
Sorry.
Yeah. This tops up ATP. Creatine kinases is the helper tool that makes the swap fast. I'm still on this one, so yeah. Okay. Here's how it works. ATP and adenosine triphosphate is like your body's money for energy. Muscles spend ATP every time they contract or when cells work. When ATP is used, it releases energy, like spending money gets you something in return. If ATP runs out, your muscles can't pay for movement until more is made. Phosphocreatine. Think of PC like a backup savings account. When ATP runs low, PC quickly steps in to donate a phosphate making more ATP so you can keep moving for a few more seconds. The main advantage of this system is that it gives you energy instantly. You don't need oxygen, and there are no waste products like lactic acid. This makes it perfect for quick bursts of power. You can go into the next one. Oh, the next one. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Some sports that rely on this energy systems are like sprinting, shot put, long jump, and heavy weightlifting. These are short explosive events that need maximum effort. Yeah, I can go to the next one. Oh, the next one, yeah. I can go to the next one, sorry. I think we've missed a few we're here now. In conclusion, the ATP PC system.
How do you mean we missed slides?
Yeah, I think we accidentally forgot to. Yeah, because this is the heavy weightlifting that like the sports you need that are used for.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, in conclusion, in conclusion, the ATP PC system is essential for powerful explosive movements. It gives you energy quickly, but only for a short time. So recovery is important. Understanding the system helps athletes train for strength and speed. Thank you.
All right, Cash. I like your presentations. It's really different, and there's like fun facts. It shows like this is good. Like you've done everything that you needed to do. I would have loved for you to just go into this into a little bit more detail, like what actually happens, né? Like ATP in the muscle is broken down and it releases energy. PC donates a phosphate group to resynthesize ATP. This process allows for continuous short-term energy production. But I wanted you to show me specifically, like I did in my PowerPoint, like how ATP looks and how it gives away one of that phosphate groups, and how PC, phosphocreatine, now replenishes it by giving it another phosphor group by phosphorylating it. But like I really enjoy the way that you present. It's really interesting and fun, and all of your stuff is right. It's right. The only thing that you added that is not in my notes is about the enzyme that's responsible for breaking down phosphocreatine. You don't have to know the enzyme. It is an interesting thing to know. It's not wrong, but you don't have to know it for your exams. All right. You need to know, and what you said in your PowerPoint, you showed me exactly that this system is used during 0 to 10 seconds. So the first 0 to 10 seconds of starting to exercise, né? And it's during high intensity, different activities like you mentioned here. All right. So yeah, Cash, very good. Is there any questions that you guys might have for Cash? No questions. Cash, it's your lucky day.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. But Cash, I really do like your presentations. Your previous one was also very cool. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Candice, you are going next. Jy kan nie jou gesig so trek nie.
I really liked Cash's, because we're talking about the same thing. So I like that he used the money in the bank and the savings account.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah,
use cell phones
so-
with my daughter, so I'm going to use cell phones as an example. You know, teenagers only understand cell phones.
Yep.
So yeah.
Guys, okay, I'm not gonna say this, Candace. Let's go. You can start.
Okay, so I went according to my notes, yeah. The phosphagen system, also known as the ATP-PC system, that's the adenosine triphosphate. Wait, what am I even saying? Yeah, can we go on to the next slide? Triphosphate. Okay, adenosine, yeah, triphosphate, I was right. Phosphocreatine system. So what is it? The ATP, also known as the adenosine triphosphate, is your body's immediate energy, just like what Cash explained. And it lasts, according to my notes, 10 to 30 seconds, but it's the quickest form of energy. Phosphocreatine is a high energy molecule stored in your muscles, and it acts like a backup battery when the ATP runs out. When ATP is used, it loses one phosphate group and becomes ADP, so adenosine diphosphate, which means there are only two phosphates. And then, yeah, you'll see my pictures there. So phosphocreatine then gives one of these phosphates to the ADP, which is the adenosine diphosphate, which then creates adenosine triphosphate. So there are three phosphates. So basically, the ATPC system is where phosphocreatine donates one of its phosphates to recharge ATP. Okay. So in this system, no energy is needed to produce ATP. So this is where I was a
No
bit
oxygen.
confused. What did I say? Oxygen.
Energy.
Oh, wow. Energy, oxygen. So no oxygen is needed to produce ATP. So during exercise, the ATP PC system does not need oxygen. It just uses the PC, which is then broken down, and then it gets donated to the ADP to create the ATP. But after exercise, we need oxygen to build that phosphate back up again. So we don't need it during the process, but we need it after to rebuild it. And then activities lasting longer than 30 seconds, we then have to kick into another energy system called the glycolytic system, which I spoke about. And in this system, there's no waste products. So the creatine that was used then gets sent to the liver to get phosphorylated, where that's given another phosphate to create phosphocreatine. And then in the system, there is no CO2, which makes CO2, carbon dioxide, which makes the system a unique system. Okay, you can go on to the next slide. Okay, so then, because that was a mouthful, I wanted to explain it using the cell phone battery, but like Cash is why I used money and the savings. So the ATP is your phone battery. Your muscles have a tiny battery already recharged, but it only lasts a couple of seconds. And then the PC, which is your power bank, acts like a power bank. And then once the battery runs out, the power bank then jumps in and recharges it really quickly. And after about 8 to 12 seconds, both the battery and the power bank will be drained. Then we need to plug into another energy system. Okay, so examples of the ATP PC in sports, 100-meter sprint or weightlifting, a heavy rep. Okay, on to the next slide. Okay, how to replenish the ATP PC system. We use the phone battery and the power bank as an example. So when ATP dies down, the PC gives it a quick recharge. But once the power bank is empty, you need to plug it back in to recharge it. And how do we do that? Sorry?
No, I just said well done.
Yeah.
It's very
So
good.
we have to rest and we need oxygen. So usually it takes 2 to 3 minutes for full recovery. So after you've sprinted and you've used up all your ATP, after you've rested for about 2 to 3 minutes, you have your stores back again. So then you're ready to go again. You can also use creatine supplements, good nutrition like proteins and carbs. And then if you training also helps. So if you do regular HIIT, it teaches your body to restore ATP PC faster. That's just a fun fact. And then naturally also the body produces its own creatine in the liver and the pancreas. And this is then transported to the muscles where it is stored as phosphocreatine. And then, because to me, this was still a lot, but that's why I need to go through the other energy sources. I've put in a video at the end on the next slide to just put it into some more perspective.
We don't have time for that video
Oh,
now,
okay. It's
Candice.
fine, but okay, if anybody has any questions, because I feel like I did break it down.
Girl, you broke it down to the basics of basics. You cannot break it down
Yeah,
even more.
okay.
I
Cool.
need you to, honestly, guys, give Candice a hand of applause. Hand of applause, is that the right applause?
A round
A
of applause.
round of applause, all right? Because you went through you clearly went through my recording probably a few times, if I'm not mistaken. And you did some extra research showing that you understand your work. Now you just need to remember this during your exam because you're going to ace your exam, all right? And you now need to study the way that you explained this. You need to be able to explain the other two systems
Yes.
as well.
That's the problem.
But I love the phone battery and the power bank and the fact that you said when you now plug it into rest and oxygen, which I really enjoy that, to recharge the whole power bank and the battery. That's amazing. All right. So well done, Candice. Very good
Thank
work.
you.
And it just shows you that you can. This is like this learning by looking at the video. It is possible. All right. It is possible. So well done.
Thank you.
All right. Our next participant is going to be, let me just have a look here. Is going to be Siseko.
Morning, everyone. Okay.
Good morning. Oh, we have another ATP PC system. Okay, let's go, Siseko.
Guys, I'm Siseko Vengileni. I'm gonna do a presentation of the ATP PC system. We can go to the next one. Okay. How does ATP system work? The ATP PC system provides immediate energy for high intensity, short duration activities by breaking down stored adenosine transphosphate. I can't pronounce that right.
Adenosine triphosphate.
Triphosphate, okay. And phosphocreatine or creatine PC to quickly replenish ATP. This anaerobic system can sustain maximum effort for 10 to 15 seconds before depleting, making it crucial for activities like sprinting, jumping, and weightlifting. Okay, we can go to the next one. Problems that occur during the ATP PC system. Okay, limited fuel source. The ATP system relies on stored creatine phosphate, which is only available in limited quantities in the muscle. Then the next one is rapid burnout. Okay, because of the limited fuel, the ATP-PC system burns out or depletes quickly. Okay, typically within 10 seconds of maximal intensity effort. And the third one will be fuel depletion. Okay, a single maximum effort can temporarily reduce the creatine phosphate levels in the muscle, contributing the fatigue of the system. And then the fourth one would be transition to other systems. To sustain activities beyond the initial 10 seconds, the body must rely on the lactic acid system and the aerobic exudative system to produce more ATP. So, and the recovery will be while PC stores are rapidly resynthesized during the recovery period. Prolonged intense exercise will eventually overwhelm the ATPC system capacity. Okay, how it works. Initially, the ATP system the body initially uses the readily available stored of indenosized transphosphate ATP and these words.
Phosphocreatine.
Phosphocreatine PC, that means PC. Okay. Regenerate when ATP is used to break down into the endonoside disphosphate ATP. Sorry, I can't see what that arrow there.
Adenosine D-phosphate.
Adenosine D-phosphate, yeah. Phosphocreatine in the middle
In the muscle.
in the muscle, then donates a phosphate group of ATP, quickly reforming ATP, anaerobic and lactic. The system does not require oxygen anaerobic. It does not produce lactic acid, which is why it's idle for short bursts of power. Can go to the next.
All right. And Mr. Seko, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
I want to know how many phosphates does adenosine D-phosphate have?
How many?
How many phosphates does adenosine D-phosphate have?
I don't want to guess actually. I think it's 2.
Why do you say 2?
Okay.
Because 2 is correct, but I want to
yes,
know
I think
what gives you.
isn't it what's this? Sorry.
Okay, Cash and Candice, do you guys want to help
Yeah.
Seko?
Repeat the question, please, Talita.
How many phosphates does adenosine D-phosphate have?
Oh, 2. The D means di for 2, and then the tri is 3 for triphosphate.
All right, adenosine triphosphate refers to tri. What is when I say triple jump or when I say triathlon? What does that mean? Triathlon mean there is 3 sports.
Yes.
So 3 refers to 3 phosphate groups.
Okay.
So it's very important that you know what you are saying here. And that's why I would have loved to see some pictures to demonstrate what you are saying so that you can see, oh, adenosine D-phosphate is the one that is not energy. It's not actively energy because it only has 2 phosphates. But now when it gets a phosphate group, then it is an adenosine triphosphate, which is now a high energy molecule, which can produce energy. So I would have loved to see some pictures like Candice's presentation. It is correct. The lactic acid also, this one refers to the glycolytic system. That is the anaerobic glycolytic system, because then the end product is lactate. So sometimes they say lactic acid system for
Okay.
the glycolytic system, but it is still the same. The reason why they say lactic acid system is just because it is the glycolytic system that is anaerobic, which means without oxygen, which means the end product is lactate.
All right.
But I don't want to go into it, but I just wanted to explain why there's certain things in here that we didn't do in my presentation. All right, our next person to present is going to be, let me just have a look. It's going to be Melanie. Melanie. Melanie has the glycolytic system. Okay, Melanie, you ready?
Morning.
Melanie, talk with Melanie.
Morning, morning, morning.
Melanie, put off your mic, and then I want you to come and okay, Melanie.
Morning, morning, everyone. We're going to talk about glycolytic system, understand the anaerobic energy and product for high intensity exercise performance. Next slide. How glycolytic system powers your muscles. Glucose breakdown. Glucose from blood or muscles. Glycogen enters the glycolytic pathways. Initial rapid energy production without oxygen requirement. ATP generation through a series and enzymatic reaction. Glucose is converted to pyruvate products to producing 2 to 3 ATP molecular per glucol unit. Lactate formation without oxygen, pyruvate converts to lactate, allowing glycolysis to continue, but contributing to muscles fatigue and burning sensation. Next slide. Glycolytic system in action. Key characteristics: duration 15 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes. Power output high intensity, moderate duration. Primary fuel muscles glycogen and blood glucose. Oxygen requirement none in anaerobic performance application. 400 to 800 miles sprints, high intensity interval training, team sports, fast resistant training sets. Okay.
You finished?
Yes.
Thank you. So when you are saying team sport bursts, what are you referring to there?
Bio.
Bio, what's bio?
Bio, by means of bio, whereby they shuffle on the cones, those agility stuff that they're doing.
So So short bursts, are you referring to that?
Yes.
Short bursts of high intensity and then resting again and then going again. So what sport, if you think of sports now, will need that quick side shuffling, change of direction, and then you arrest again a little bit, or you slow down your intensity a little bit, and then you burst again. You guys can also tell me what sport is like the short burst of high intensity, and then you rest again, and then again a high burst of energy.
I think soccer and netball.
Yes.
Say again, Candice.
I said I think soccer and netball can also be qualified as this.
Yes.
Soccer, netball.
Beautiful. Ne? Tennis. Ne?
Yes.
So it's high intensity, you go sideways, quick, and then you slow down a bit, then you take a little break, then you go again. So it's not like the ATPP system like that is really explosive. Remember, when you do athletics and you do a javelin throw, that is an explosive ATPPC dominant system. But when you're doing high intensity like rugby or soccer, that is where the glycolytic system is predominantly used, because it's your higher intensities, but of a moderate duration. All right. And then you go from there into your oxidative system, which is usually your marathon, long duration, slow intensity type of training. That's that Joshua said in his presentation. But John Melanie, good presentation. You mentioned everything that you should have been mentioned. There is a few stuff that I wanted you to have mentioned a little bit more that you didn't mention in your thing. I wanted to see more pictures of actually what happens molecularly. So there's a lot of stuff that you missed out. You didn't mention about what glycolysis mean, glucose breakdown. I wanted you to mention exactly like what I mentioned in my presentation. So, but you did, your information wasn't wrong. All right, I just would have wanted to see a little bit more. All right, so we are finished for today, guys. This was a perfect opportunity for you guys to learn a little bit more. If you feel after the session that you need to go through that videos. Yes, Alison?
Are you going to leave mine for Thursday?
We can do that. Thank you so much, Alison, for reminding me.
Okay, because I have mine, but I don't have my PowerPoint.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to
Okay, then.
complicate it, you know. So for you guys, it's important that you go through that three lesson recordings again and again and again. Use diagrams, draw pictures for yourself, explain it out loud so that you can so that it can become second nature. All right. So just like you explained your specific energy system like you did, I want you to be able to explain the others like that as well. All right. So we are finished for today. I really hope that this was helpful to you. I will send you an email with regards